I'm going to be talking now to Jeanette. How are you, Jeanette?
Hi, Jeanette. I'm fine, thanks.
Can you give us a little bit of a profile about you, your club, and what your club is up to?
I'm a member of 2 clubs. My home club is Springfield Lakes Toastmasters. That's the one I'll be focusing on today. And I'm also a member of the Advanced Club in Ipswich, heart of the city. So 2 very different clubs with different needs and different ways of doing things. But as I said, today I'm going to focus on Springfield Lakes.
And how many members does Springfield have?
At the moment, we have 22 members. And we're lucky enough to say we do have a couple who we lost during COVID, and not because of COVID, but because they moved away from the area and for work purposes. We were lucky enough to meet 20 members during COVID. We still had people contacting our club wanting to join. I'm ready to join. Where are you meeting? We said, we're not actually meeting at the moment, we're online because of COVID. That's okay, I want to come on anyway. And they came on and they joined up. And this really reflects back to the first contact they have with the club, the contact person. If that person is available and hands-on and can answer their questions and make it sound like it's something that they need to fit in with what they want, then they're going to come along. Get them excited about, ask them questions, find out what they're looking for, and then say, oh, well, actually, I think that you'll be a perfect match because we do this, this, and this. And that's the way that we, first of all, get our guests to come along to the meetings at that initial point when they contact us. And
where do they find you from? How do you get them to call you in the first place?
Majority are through Google search. They contact the contact person through the contact details, either by email or by phone. We get a phone call.
So how do they Google you?
They Google Springfield Toastmasters or Toastmasters near me.
So that would be an automatic thing. It doesn't have to be something that each club has created. It just comes through because of our connection with Toastmasters International. So would it be Toastmaster at Ipswich or Springfield, or what would you come up under?
Springfield.
Mm.
And we are unique there in that we're the only club in Springfield. Our nearest club is Goodna at Jacaranda 2000. And then there are, I believe, 5 or 6 clubs actually in Ipswich itself.
So who is the contact? Who is the contact for your club?
Yeah, I'm the contact person.
And
because I've got time. Sorry?
What is your role in the club?
Immediate past president, and this year I am vice president membership.
So it doesn't have to be VPPR, it can be anybody.
That's correct. I have the time to do it, and I'm available to answer my phone just about any time, and that is a big bonus. If they ring me and I can answer straight away, they're not waiting for me to ring them back, or because their time is valuable as well. And if they're taking the time to ring, if we've got that availability there, it's straight away you've got one hurdle overcome. And the other way that we have been gaining members is through the Toastmasters International website, Find a Club. We have had 3 or 4 emails in the last 2 weeks through that platform as well. And the bonus there, well, the thing there, and I'm not attached to that, I'm not the contact person for there, and I don't have access to the email address that is on there, but the person who does get it just forwards it straight on to me, and then I send an email to the person, because once again, I've got the time to actually take the time to be able to.
So are you actually saying when a lead comes in, You get back onto it as soon as possible.
That is very important, because without that immediacy, when someone's interested in something, they want to know now, not 3 or 4 weeks down the track, because they may have lost interest or found something else, another platform to suit their needs. So if there's actively looking, we need to be actively receiving and responding so that we get that initial contact going.
So what do they actually ask when they first make an inquiry? Do you find that they know about Toastmasters, or are they have a specific need that they want to be a better public speaker?
There's nothing specific. Some of them know about Toastmasters, they've heard of it, or a friend has said, you need to go to Toastmasters. So they'll ring up and say, look, my friend said I need to come, I'm coming. Other people will say, look, I understand Toastmasters is to do with public speaking, and I want to be able to speak better in front of people because I get really nervous. And I'll say, great, this is perfect for you. Come along, see what we do. And I don't, as a previous speaker says, I don't push too much information onto them to start with. I get them to come along to the meeting, and straight away they know a voice. So as soon as I see the name, I think, oh, I've been talking to you. We've been the ones who've been emailing. Or if it's someone else who's been emailing, I'll say, oh, who was your contact person? Can you remember? Oh, so-and-so. Oh, this is so-and-so here. And so you put them into contact with the person who they've had the initial contact with, and you've got that rapport straight away.
Do you tell your club that you're expecting a guest, or is it an expectation that you have got a guest at every meeting anyway?
It's not an expectation, although most meetings we do have guests. It's more if I remember. Sometimes they will ring me at 5:30 on the day of our meeting and say, oh, I'm interested in coming to the meeting. And I'll say, look, we've got a meeting tonight. Are you free? Oh, yeah, sure. I don't tell anyone else that they're coming. If I know in advance, I can say, oh, yeah, we'll probably have a couple of guests coming along. This is their names, blah, blah, blah. Just in case I happen to not be there, the other members know to expect them.
Do you give them a name tag?
That's something we've been discussing, and we don't. We used to, but it's a habit that we got out of. But we were discussing this at our executive meeting, and it is something that we will probably go back to doing, because it gives them a sense of belonging. Even if it's only for one meeting, they feel like they're part of it because we've got name badges on. And it also means that anybody who is leading the segments like the warm-up or the table topics doesn't have to say, sorry, I can't remember your name, because they've got the name tag on that you can refer to if you want to call on them.
Mm. Do you actually actively invite them to participate in the meeting?
Yes, where possible. Now, I say where possible because although we have a lot of experienced members, about 2 or 3 years ago, our membership dropped down to about 12 or 13. We had a lot going on with the club. We lost our venue. We lost 4 of our charter members all at the same time who didn't renew. And we had nowhere to meet, and some of our really experienced members left. We built it back up again slowly, but it means that a lot of our members now are not as experienced. So when they're leading some of the roles, they don't always know to call on the guests or how to ask them, because that's something that you learn through experience and not necessarily straight away. If it's one of the other experienced members, we will say to them, there's a couple of 30-minute sessions, so they're just 1 or 2 sentences, depending on what the topic is, and we don't know what that is till the session. If you would like to join in as we go around the room, please, do so, but you have the right to pass. And often in the beginning of the meeting, they will pass, but at the end of the meeting, they will get up and respond. And even when we do the table topics, we will explain what it's about. We will get some of our members to come up and do theirs, and then we'll say, would any of our guests like to give it a go? And last meeting we had 2 guests. So yeah, I want to have a go. And they were quite prepared to get up and respond to a table topic.
Right. So they're at the meeting. How do we hook them as a member?
What I like to do when they first arrive is ask them to arrive about 15 minutes early so we can get to have a little bit of a chat, but not too much of a chat. Just to find out a little bit of where they're at, how they heard about us, and what they're looking for. And through that conversation, they often come up with, oh, English is my second language, or I work in this particular industry. Ah, brilliant. So you're from India, because they told me this. We have members from India. How about what I introduce you to so-and-so? Oh, so you work in this area. Someone else from one of our other members works in a similar area. Why don't I introduce you to them? And straight away, it's something that they're familiar with, so they're not feeling so isolated. And just that little bit of familiarity, and then meeting someone in the same, helps them to feel more at ease. We don't give them a lot of information then because it overwhelms them, and we've heard that from previous speakers, not to overwhelm them. At supper, halfway through, we say, well, what do you think so far? No expectations. They don't know what it was all about, and we'll ask them what they think. Oh, wow, I didn't know it was going to be so structured, but I think I like
That's a big one.
Exactly, but they tell us that, and then we can explain briefly why we do it. After supper is when I give them a pack. So they don't get to look at it necessarily at the meeting. They take it home with them.
What's in your pack, Jeanette?
In the pack, it's got all about Toastmasters, a little bit of the history of our club, of how long we've been going and who's who in the club, and more so, contact numbers. So, and on the letter that's in there. So if you've got any questions, just feel free to ring so-and-so on this number or email any of these people, and they will answer your questions.
Who are those people?
Pardon?
Who are those people? People in the club?
Yeah, or the executive team. So all the executive team are quite happy to be contacted, and there are other key members who have the time. Once again, that's very important, to have the time throughout the day, who don't work necessarily, who can answer the calls. Because once again, they like, if I've got a question, oh, I thought about it now, I'd like it answered. If you don't get back to them, they sometimes forget what it is.
And is there a membership form in that pack?
There's definitely a membership form, and our schedule of fees. So worked on the pro rata. So straight away they can say, if I join in February, this is what it's going to cost me up until not the March one, but we'll put it through to the next one. If I join in November, it'll cost me this amount. So straight away on the group they can see we're in November. For me to join up, it will cost me this.
So what's your conversion rate, Jeanette?
I'm not 100% sure because it's not something that we've actually tracked, but I do know that it's pretty high. I would say the 70 come back to the meeting, and that's when we say, what do you think? Is it for you? Quite often we don't get that far. We'll say, come back again and have another meeting because you'll understand a little bit more. It'll make more sense next time. You'll feel a little bit more relaxed. They'll get home and they'll send an email saying, I've transferred the money. Here's my form. I'm in. So it just depends on what they're looking for. So we're a very diverse club. We're multicultural. We have diverse from business owners, public servants, right through to students. And so the age also is more so to the top end, but we do have a few younger members as well.
So why does diversity make for a good club?
Because just about anybody who walks into our club will have something in common with somebody. And then they've got that familiarity there. Oh, someone else who has English as a second language, but from my culture, I can relate to that. Somebody works in the same industry. Oh, someone else who really can't speak, who needs to learn to speak in front of other people. Wow, I didn't know that. I thought I was the only one. Anything at all that you can grasp that will say, oh, you know, so-and-so, without saying, oh, we all start at the bottom and work our way up, pinpoint a specific person and get them to sit or introduce them to that person and say why you're introducing them. So, oh, so-and-so from India as well, or so-and-so from China, and I know you were learning Chinese. It might not be from there, but I remember you saying you were learning Chinese. How about you chat to so-and-so?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because research has shown that a guest at a Toastmasters club could have been sitting in their car for half an hour trying to get the courage to walk in, and the indifference that some people feel when they walk in, they just feel like walking out. So I think the point you made about meeting and greeting and making them feel very welcome is a wonderful, wonderful start. Is there any questions for Jeanette?
Yes, I do have one. Jeanette,
Oh,
I have one. That is, does the club contact person, how do you keep the information on what questions you've asked? And is there a record kept?
There's no record kept, mainly because the information that we gather is from a one-on-one conversation. So it's using your Toastmaster skills of listening and reflecting, the active listening that you put into use when you're talking to these people. You don't have to remember everything. You remember the main components, then you sit them with someone else, and then that person takes over. They may ask the same questions, but at least they're showing an interest in the person. So it becomes a whole team effort, not just a one person.
What's your retention rate like, Jeanette, and how do you work on keeping your members?
Our retention rate, I think we lost 2 members at this last renewal stage. As I said, one moved away and one was because of work commitments. We have 2 who haven't yet renewed, but are going to. So I think for a 22 member, that's pretty high. We also have had, though, 2 new members come in. So what we do for retention, and more so last year, the same thing, because we had the traditional learning program, was we focused on what our members needed to do to complete those projects. And we asked at every meeting, we sent emails out, and then we created certain projects to enable the members to be able to complete them. For example, it was our 15th birthday year. Some of them needed to be on a committee. Who has a leadership? Who would like to be on our committee, first of all? If it's part of your leadership and you need that, we're looking for people to be on our birthday committee. So it gave them the opportunity to fulfill that for their leadership CL, to complete that, which they may not have otherwise had. Some of them needed to chair a contest. We held a contest that we don't always have, and that was a novice contest for our new, because we had a lot of new members. It was a great experience for them to learn about the contest side of things. So we held a novice contest, gave our members opportunity to do the leadership of chairing the contest, being a contest Toastmaster, and helping to organise it. All things which were once again in the leadership. And we made sure that the members who were so close to finishing their CC were given the first preference to go on for their onto the program to complete their speeches way before the end of year.
Yeah. Now, you have a guest pack that you manually put together. Are we all aware that we now have an electronic guest pack that is available through Toastmasters? It's phenomenal resource. It's like a centre post, and you've got little signposts all the way, right from what is Toastmasters all the way through. So may I suggest, if we do get a lead, that we send them that guest pack straight away. It's electronic. You can just send them the link straight away, and it's absolutely beautiful package. It's even got a video attached to it as well. So that could be another suggestion, Jeanette. But congratulations. Your outcome has been wonderful for your club. And to me, it sounds like you follow up, you show your care, and that you are very interested in your new members. It just doesn't happen. It's just amazing, really, when we see unanswered requests from Toastmasters International that went through and nobody contacted them. It's just really quite a shame, really. As we say, you need to do it as soon as you get it. You need a hot lead to stay hot. Thank you, Jeanette, and keep up the great work.
Thank you. And once again, just fun and friendly.
Thank you, Denise.
Now, Robert's got a little suggestion down there. He's put down the electronic visitor pack. Thank you. And also further up there, you had the tracker. Robert, do you want to explain that to us?
Certainly. I was just picking up on the question that somebody asked Jeanette earlier about what the conversion rate was. That tracker tool will actually allow you to identify what your conversion rate is, and also it takes people step by step through the stages of the journey, so you can identify if people are dropping out of the journey from lead to member at a specific sector of the program, and therefore that hopefully will trigger you to think about what can we do better so that we're not losing people at that point. So just, again, it's up to every single club to manage the club how you want, but it's a tool that is available.
Thank you, Robert.